Why the heck am I so dressed up today? Let's find out. Hey there, it's your girl Kamla-Kay. I am a professional agency signed model, modeling mentor, and posing coach. So if you are trying to get into the modeling industry or trying to get better at your posing, this is the channel for you. This is going to be a really short video, so let's dive right in. So let's talk about what are some of the traits, characteristics, things that models really need to be able to convey with their body language, with how they present themselves in order to make yourselves more attractive to an agency or brand in terms of getting you hired. All right, so back to my outfit, right? Why am I so dressed up in comparison to some of my other videos? Well, I just actually had to do an audition tape here at home, and I dressed the part for the audition. Basically, the audition scene that I was recreating was that I was at a lavish party in Miami, and in that scene, this is what the client wanted me to do. Before we continue on, if you are new to my channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Also go to the description area because I do have a free modeling guide and a posing tips guide that you can download free of charge. All right, so the client wanted us in the audition tape to pretend that we were at this lavish party and that we were dancing. So I literally, all of this was moved out of the space so that I would have a clear blank slate for doing my audition. And I had to dance on camera. I had to show all kinds of personality as if I was at this party enjoying the event and having the best time of my life. And also, they said that they wanted to see you strike a few poses to the camera or off to the side as if friends were taking photos of you. So essentially, a characteristic that you have to have if you want to make it as a successful model is not being overly shy or too awkward on camera. Literally, you are the face of the brand, right? When you get hired for a job. So the client doesn't want you to show up to a photo shoot and you are pretty self-conscious, you're unaware of your body movements and your body language. So spending time to get more comfortable on camera, more comfortable in your body is going to be essential for clients to take you more seriously. So for instance, when you walk into a room with a casting, let's say that you don't have the ability to audition at home where you can do your self-tape multiple times. If you have to go and meet with a client in person, you want to make sure that when you walk into the room that you are walking in very confidently, that you are making eye contact with the people that are in the room. And obviously you have to read the room. If it's super quiet when you walk in, you don't want to walk in and be like, hey everyone! If the room, when you walk in, people are looking at you, making eye contact, you want to make sure that you wave, say hello. You don't want to necessarily scream that either, but you want to make sure that you are personable, that when you walk in, you don't walk in and you're looking like this, like, oh gosh, where do I sign in? What do I do, right? Pretend that you have been there before. Pretend that you are familiar with that client, even if you are not, because clients pick up on all those things and they are judging you on whether you can book that job from the minute you walk through the door or from the minute that you join on camera for your self-tape auditions at home. Along the same lines of not being awkward, shy, for instance, when you are speaking to a client, or your audition, for instance, make sure that you are projecting your voice. If a client sees that you are more monotone or you're whispering when you're talking, that is also something that can be a turn off for them. So make sure that you project a little bit more maybe than you normally would if you are someone that's more soft-spoken, and just let your personality shine. So if you are at a casting, for instance, you don't want to be constantly talking and being distracting, for instance, especially if you need to focus on whatever, you know, the audition specs are that you need to be able to relate to the client, and it's something that you have to focus on to practice or what have you. Again, be reading the room, but don't be so quiet that you're not engaging with anyone in obviously a respectable read the room type of manner. So if it's completely quiet and they don't want anyone speaking, respect that. If they are engaging with people and you can just make small talk here and there without distracting the client or without taking them away from the audition or their project, that's important as well. Another trait that agencies love, for instance, when you, let's say that you're going to an open call and they're looking for this in their model. When you go to an agency and you are having a conversation with them, either via Zoom or in person, or even, again, meeting with a brand for an audition, you want to make sure that if the opportunity presents itself, especially if you're going to meet with an agent, then yes, you can definitely have this opportunity. And that is making sure that you are asking questions. The agency needs to see your character trait, that you are someone that's confident, that you are someone that understands enough about the business side of aspects, so that they want to know that when you go and meet with the agency, for instance, they're going to be asking you all kinds of questions, right? Because they want to see if you're a good fit for the agent. But on the same token, you should be asking the agent questions, right? Don't just walk in there and let them throw 10 questions at you and then say, all right, well, thank you so much for coming, without you asking them any questions. Show that you can be business minded, that you are business savvy, and that this is just as much of an importance to you in terms of making sure that they're a good fit for you, right? Because not every agency that likes you is actually going to be a good fit for you. So you want to be asking them various questions, and I have videos specifically on my wall about preparing for things like open calls, questions to be asking. So check those videos out as well. But again, just making sure that it's a two-way street when you meet with an agency and there's dialogue going, because they love to see those character traits in models. Quick pause, I want to make sure that you also know that I have a posing course that is now out. So if you struggle on camera, if you are feeling a little bit awkward and shy on camera and you don't know where your angles are, you always do the simple hand on the hip pose, check out my posing course. It's going to be linked in the description as well, along with all the free guides as well. I do have the link for the posing course, and that is a full-length video course. You're going to be standing up and posing with me. I break everything down from how to pose your legs, your feet, your hands, everything with movement, right? So that you can get better on camera. So check that out in the description area as well. Final tip that I want to say in terms of making sure that you present yourself well as a model, character traits that agencies, brands, clients love when it comes to working with models, seeing people at auditions, or even when you're going to meet with an agency. And this one is making sure that, let's say it's an audition, right? So today, like I said, I was dressed up in this fancy dress for my audition because of the party scene that I had to audition for earlier. So in that sense, the thing that they want you to be mindful of is, what are you auditioning for? How should you show up? So there's some auditions where the client doesn't really care what you wear to show up, as long as you're presentable. And a lot of times for models, it's just maybe some dark jeans, a tank top, t-shirt, something very simple, nothing with patterns and all of that, right? This was appropriate for this casting. So if it's a situation though where you're auditioning for the role of, I'm just gonna make this up, let's say a lawyer, right? So you're gonna be doing this audition and it's a print job, and for whatever reason in this print job, they wanna see someone that looks very much like they own a business, right? You wanna make sure that you show up in the appropriate attire. So earlier in the week, for instance, I had to go to a casting studio and meet with a casting director. And one of the things that they were telling us was, didn't happen with me, I was prepared, but they were saying that they were frustrated that sometimes people show up and they are not dressed the part, or they don't even know necessarily what role they are auditioning for. So sometimes when you're auditioning for a modeling job, or even like a TV commercial, for instance, there's gonna be various roles, right? Different character traits. So sometimes you show up and they ask you, okay, write down on the paper what role you're auditioning for this print job, for instance. And the model's like, I don't know, my agent just sent me here. So always be proactive in asking your agent specifically, is there a specific role that I should be going for? Your agent may have a busy day and maybe they just aren't as on top of things as honestly they should be with giving you directions. So you need to be proactive in that sense and ask the questions yourself. If you are doing a freelance audition, be specific in understanding what role you're auditioning for as well, so that you can prepare ahead of time, whether it's your outfit, whether it's what you're gonna have to do when you get there. So all of these things are preparation and character traits that agents, brands, clients absolutely love and appreciate when it comes to you trying to become a model or work in this space, so maybe for even TV commercials. All right, as promised, I said this was gonna be a super short video because honestly, I was just finishing up my audition for this one fashion brand. And since I was already dressed, I said, why not make a YouTube video out of this? If you have not already subscribed to my channel, make sure that you do that. And also comment below if you have any questions specifically about modeling, specifically about if you think you can be a model. But my biggest tip is always, don't worry so much about what your eyebrows look like or what your teeth look like or whatever. If you have this goal, this vision, submit your digitals to the agencies and see their feedback from there. All right, that's it for this video. I will see you in the next one. Make sure that you go to the description area, grab the links to my free guide as well as the link to my full-length posing course so you can get much